In the Sonoran Desert, there are two cities called Nogales. They're close to each other, but separated by the US-Mexico border. In Nogales, Arizona, people earn more money, have better education, and get what they need easily. The government listens to them, and they feel safe about their things and themselves. But in Nogales, Sonora, things are not as good. More people get hurt, school isn't as good, and healthcare isn't always enough. It's tricky to start a business because of crime and politicians who don't play fair. This big difference in the same city makes us wonder why Northern America is richer than Latin America. The historical roots of this difference are essential. Initially, Latin American countries were as valuable, if not more so, than their northern counterparts. For most of history, Latin America was rich in resources and potential. However, things changed, particularly in the 19th and 20th centuries. Venezuela, for instance, experienced an economic boom thanks to its vast oil reserves, becoming one of the world's richest nations. Yet, it's now facing economic turmoil. This isn't unique to Venezuela. Many Latin American countries failed to realize their economic potential after gaining independence. The difference comes from how they did things during colonization. The Spanish and Portuguese wanted to use the native people and their social structures for their benefit. But in North America, they did things differently due to the situations they faced. The English settlers couldn't copy the Spanish way in North America because there weren't many native people, and they were spread out. So, they had to encourage their settlers to work and invest, which later led to democracy and capitalism. The United States is a really big and rich country. It has a lot of money, more than $25 trillion. This is because it does many different things like making stuff, handling money, using technology, and growing food. The US also sells things to other countries, and its money is important all over the world. One reason the US is rich is because it has lots of useful things like oil, gas, wood, and land to grow food. These things have been helping the country for a long time. The US is good for businesses too. It has low taxes and rules, so many companies from around the world come here to work. The people in the US are also well educated, with many going to college. This is important for a modern economy, and it helps the US compete globally. The US is great at coming up with new ideas. It has good schools that teach scientists and engineers. The government also spends a lot on research and development, which helps create new things. The US is lucky with where it is. It's between two big oceans and can easily trade with other countries. This has made the US a powerful player in the world economy. But it's not all perfect. Some people in the US are very rich, while others struggle to make money. And there are big problems with the environment, like climate change. In Latin America, property rights were often insecure, and monopolies were used to control markets, hindering economic progress. In 2020, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, poverty went up and income inequality got a bit worse. In 2021, things got a little better, but not enough to fix everything. So, in 2021, about 32.3% of the people in Latin America were poor, which is a small improvement from 2020, and about 12.9% were extremely poor, which is a bit better than 2020. For 2022, they expect poverty to be at 32.1%, which is about 201 million people, and extreme poverty at 13.1%, which is about 82 million people. This means that there will still be more poor people compared to before the pandemic, and more extremely poor people compared to 2019. The economic disparities between Latin America and North America have deep historical roots. During colonization, Spanish and Portuguese conquerors exploited indigenous peoples and their existing social hierarchies in Latin America. In contrast, the colonization of North America was shaped by different circumstances, which favored a more diverse and inclusive approach to governance and economic development. These historical factors continue to influence the economic disparities between the two regions. Additionally, issues such as political instability, governance structures, and economic institutions have contributed to Latin America's relative economic challenges when compared to North America.